Welcome to the NSF ATP-Bio Perfect Pitch competition at our 2026 annual meeting. In just 90 seconds, trainees from across the ATP-Bio ERC share bold ideas, real-world challenges, and innovative solutions shaping the future of cryopreservation and biotechnology. Here are this year's presenters. Kicking off this year's Perfect Pitch presentations is Charles A. Elder from the University of Louisville with his talk, Biocompatible Cryoprotectants to Expand Access to Red Blood Cells.
Patients who experience trauma with severe bleeding have 11% higher odds of death for each minute delay in a blood transfusion. Yet, 1% of emergency vehicles carry blood units. Blood is perishable. It can only last for 42 days, and blood banks are hesitant to give emergency vehicles blood because of the constant tracking and storage that must take place. You can cryopreserve red blood cells, but it takes about 2 hours to prepare them for a transfusion. So our solution to this problem is a cryopreserved, biocompatible red blood cell unit that can be rapidly warmed with high viability, requires no post-thaw processing, and can be directly transfused into the patient. These red blood cell units would have prolonged shelf life, on-demand availability for first responders, and would have simplified deployment in trauma situations. Thank you all.
Next up is Loïc van Dieren from Mass General Brigham presenting Unlocking Cell Therapies with Ice-Free Preservation.
Cell therapies die. Cell therapies like mitochondria, liver cells, or CAR-NK cells die during preservation because when cooled down, ice forms, punctures the cells, and kills them. Ice prevents life-saving therapies from ever reaching patients, therapies that could save millions of lives. Vitrification is an amazing alternative and solves this. It cools cells so fast that ice doesn't have time to form. But there is a problem to vitrification. It doesn't scale. The more cells you have, the slower they cool, and the more time ice has to form. We solved this. We built the first scalable vitrification platform for suspended cells by assembling thousands of little vitrification units together. Our platform will enable therapies like mitochondria, CAR-NK cells, and liver cells to reach patients at scale and save millions of lives.
Our third presenter is Maria J. Londono from the University of Texas at San Antonio, presenting the technology that will build the first organ bank.
Every 8 minutes, one patient is added to a UN transplant waitlist. By the end of this session, in 1 hour, 7 more people will be on it. Patients are dying not because we're failing to preserve the organs, but because we don't have the bank. How can we even think about cryopreservation if we don't know how accurately or how fast we can cool an organ without causing any damage? Today, despite having a $7 billion US transplant market, we're still relying on a 1948 mathematical equation that is treating organs like a simple block of ice. That's not true. Organs have complex vascular network. Our research showed that this all model fails during rapid cooling. We were able to show there's uneven cooling deep inside the tissue, and that's exactly the bottleneck that is destroying the organs during cryopreservation attempts today. I'm Maria from UT San Antonio, and our solution is a new volumetric cooling technology. We were the first attempt to actually know where the cold is going deep inside the tissue. Right now, we don't have to guess anymore. We have the map that will help us achieve the safety and speed needed during cryopreservation. This could save the healthcare system at least $1.3 billion annually. We can think about this even bigger. We can expand this to thermal emergencies or even start thinking about whole body cryogenics. Today, we have the model. Now I'm looking for the partners to help me bring this from the lab to the clinic. I want to search for collaborators that will help me validate this technology across different tissue platforms and finally reach the patients. We can save lives. Thank you.
Our final presenter is Raphaela Bento from Mass General Brigham, presenting SmartCraft, Programming Organs as Living Therapies.
Just today, about 17 Americans died while waiting for an organ match. So getting a transplant can be extremely challenging, but those who are lucky enough to even get one, keeping that organ can be even harder sometimes. So about a quarter of every transplant organ faces some sort of failure or dysfunction post-transplantation, and that's mostly due to rejection and some other complications. So that's exactly what we're trying to address here. So we are leveraging the inevitable ex vivo window time of every donor organ, and we're starting to look at it not only as a passive preservation window, but as an invaluable therapeutic opportunity. So we are genetically modifying organs outside of the body using ex vivo machine perfusion systems, and we are reprogramming these organs genetically and embedding them with sensing and therapeutic capabilities. So the idea is that the organ becomes its own immune sensor and therapy. So with this platform, we're able to detect and diagnose rejection 6 days earlier than biopsies could even begin to catch any tissue damage. And we did so non-invasively through a simple, quick and easy blood test, which was very cool. The platform also is extremely safe because only the donor organ is exposed to any genetic reprogramming, so the patient, the recipient, never sees any of the vector. And it's also very modular, so it opens many opportunities and applications. For example, rescuing marginal organs, for example, we could make organs more resistant to injury and maybe increase the donor pool. So we believe that the future of transplantation doesn't rely on a new drug, but on smarter organs. Thank you.
This year's presenters showcased innovative ideas and impactful solutions advancing the future of cryopreservation and biotechnology. Congratulations to Maria J. Londono from the University of Texas at San Antonio, winner of the 2026 ATP-Bio Perfect Pitch competition, who will represent ATP-Bio at the NSF ERC biannual meeting this fall. Thank you for watching the 2026 NSF ATP-Bio Perfect Pitch competition.